In today's show, we've got news about Disney MagicMobile option launching. The Disney Lakeside Lodge has been canceled. We've also got headline news, meetups, trivia, and some special guests, all in today's Disney Parks podcast.
Welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast with your hosts, Tony Caselnova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com and Parkhopper John from WDWParkhoppers.com. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. And get ready for the Disney Parks Podcast.
Well, all right, everybody, welcome to the show. So glad that you were here. We've got an amazing show for you. But before we do that, we got to tell you about our good friends over at Destinations to Travel. Things are starting to open up. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but things are starting to get to the point where we may actually be able to have like normal travel. So if you are thinking about taking a Disney vacation or a family vacation somewhere, maybe you want to go somewhere else. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to Disney, but hey, you know, everybody's got their thing. You want to call our good buddies over at Destinations to Travel because they will be your guide for your dream vacation. Now, it's better to always have a travel planner and not need them, but there are times when you need some help. Trust me, I've been there. So what we want to encourage you to go to do, let me say that one more time. We want to encourage you to go to DisneyParksPodcast.com/travel. There's a short little survey and someone from Destinations Travel will get back to you. And they are awesome. We're so proud to be a part of their family. And so to go to DisneyParksPodcast.com/travel for our good friends over at Destinations to Travel. Tony, what's going on with our friends here?
Yeah, so I want to introduce you to the two gentlemen above us, Aljon Go and Dave Bossert. They are from another podcast called Skull Rock Podcast. You have to go and listen, and I'll let these two guys tell you a little bit more about it.
Aljon, take it away.
Oh, Dave, thanks. Thanks for putting me on the spot. No, the podcast, unlike other Disney podcasts like your own, you guys specialize in news and talk. We do the same, but mostly regarding around movies, animation, and books. And we do interviews about, with Disney fans and not just Disney fans, but actually people that are involved with Disney projects, much like Dave has over the years. A lot of his friends that he's had over the course of the many years at the House of Mouse come in and we chit chat with them and talk about their life and their career in filmmaking, animation, and we talk about a little bit of news too, mostly about pop culture, films, TV, Disney Plus, and a little bit of theme parks as well. So we just talk a little bit about everything.
And I think one of the things that I would love to tell your listeners is that this was just a serendipitous get-together between Aljon and I, because last summer I had a book come out called 3D Disneyland, like you've never seen it before. And I was promoting the book on a bunch of the podcasts. A lot of our friends, Tammy Tucky's The Tiara Show, and Aljon, and a lot of the podcasts. Our friends over at Laughing Place, and I was making the rounds, as it were, to promote the book and get the word out about it. And after Aljon and I finished his podcast, The Disney List, he sent me a lovely note. He said, "Wow, that was so much fun, and I really enjoyed it. And you should do a podcast." And I've had a number of people tell me I should do a podcast over the years,
right?
And I just kept kind of saying, I've got so much going on. I don't know if I can do that. And when Aljon said it to me, you know how when you talk with somebody, you connect.
Right.
You just have this easy going. It's probably, Tony, it's like you and John probably have that kind of energy where you just kind of bounce off of each other. Aljon and I, had that kind of an interview. And I wrote back to him when he sent me that lovely email saying you should do a podcast. I wrote back and I said, you know what? I'll do a podcast, but I'll do it with you.
Wow.
And he sent me an email and he said, if you're serious, I will do that. And I said, yeah, I'm serious. Tell me what kind of mic I need to get and the equipment and this and that. And we wound up spending, I think it was, Aljon, if I'm correct, it was like end of July, it was August, it was September. Once a week, we would just get together on a Zoom call and just chat. Just kind of get to know each other.
Yep.
And we decided we'd launch the show the first week of October. And that's what we did. And I think we're starting to hit our stride now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you guys would have to tell us that, but it seems like we are. And every week we have a great guest on.
Yeah. I've been listening, and I really enjoy, the guests that you bring on, because it kind of gives you like a peek, of how things are kind of done behind the scenes. And I think that's, a lot of us Disney fans that have been in this a while, we know the general broad strokes of everything, but we also then want to know what's happening behind the scenes and how things are done. So I think, some of the people you guys have been bringing on and talking about, give us that peek behind the curtain into, the process.
Yeah, and I've been actually reaching out to a lot of folks, with the pandemic and the lockdown and everything. There's a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time.
Sure.
And I just started sending notes out to people and asking them if they want to be on the show. And I'm asking people that normally don't go on podcasts, normally aren't sort of in the spotlight, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm getting people who are doing or involved in disciplines to come on, and Aljon and I are just having a great time doing this, and again, you're hearing from film directors, you're hearing from Imagineers, you're hearing from artists. We had a writer on, Barbara Abercrombie, who had a book that just came out called The Language of Loss, which we thought was relevant because of all the people passing away from the pandemic. And, we're just bringing on people that we think are interesting.
Yeah. Well, they definitely are.
And I dig it too, because, you don't see how the sausage is made, and to see and hear all of their stories about how they were, moved from one building to the next and they didn't know what was going on, especially during the whole transfer, the whole, I guess you could say the new era of Disney coming in with Eisner, right?
Yeah.
Like those type of stories you just don't get, and you don't get to see and hear what it was like during that kind of rough transition, after Walt passed away. So it's really a cool insight to that. And there's always something fascinating you pick up with all those guests and their vast knowledge and how they got into the business. For me, it's hard not to fanboy out, because these are people that were literally, this is why we do the shows that we do. It's based on these, they're not intellectual properties to us fans. They are just the fabric of what we grew up watching and continue to watch today.
Yeah.
So
we used to say that, and we don't say it enough, and we should probably do it more now. It's almost like cataloging Disney history too. These stories that these people have, about how things were done and why they were done that way, I don't know. A lot of them are not going to write their own books, so a podcast is a great way to get it on record. Kind of like their little timeline of history of what they've done. So hopefully, it won't get lost. So
and I think it's very important, and you're absolutely right. Some of this stuff when these people pass on, may be lost to time. I mean, one of the reasons why I wrote my book on the Kem Weber animation furniture 2 years ago was primarily because nobody had documented that furniture, and certainly it's a niche audience, but it's actually turned out to be not a niche audience, but I thought it was a niche audience. And by the way, guys, I am sitting at a 1939 Kem Weber animation desk. right here.
Wow.
I've got my computer on what used to be my drawing board, and I've got my microphone clamped to the side of that drawing board.
Right.
And this is where I write my books. But again, there's so much history even in an animation desk.
Right.
And the 22 pieces of animation furniture that Ken Weber designed for the Disney studios when Walt built the studio in 1939 off the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
Right. Yeah.
So this is the kind of stuff that should be documented, and bringing in those people that are really behind the scenes that most of the fans never get to see,
Right.
or hear from. I think that it opens up an avenue of disciplines that people weren't aware of, and they learn something. They learn something further. And when they go and watch Beauty and the Beast for the 100th time or the 150th time because they love that movie, after listening to a podcast guest, somebody, is going to sit there and go, wow, I'm going to pay attention to that when I watch it for the 152nd time.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's all, you're right, because how many times can you watch it? And then we want to pick out those little nuggets of, oh, I didn't see that the first time. I didn't see that the 90th time. So it's the same thing when you go on an attraction. You're always trying to find that other thing that that hidden Mickey or the hidden, whatever. So yeah, we're always trying to, as Disney fans, try to, find the hidden stuff and the secret things, the secret sauce.
And the one thing I would say is that when I say that somebody's going to watch a movie for 150 times or something, I've done that. Right. And I've done that with a lot of different movies, not just Disney films, but I'm a fan of a lot of movies, a lot of animation, and so I tend to watch things multiple times, especially when you get in the mood for it because you hadn't seen it in a year or something like that. You want to see it again. A lot of times, I will go on and watch a film on Disney Plus, an old animated film on Disney Plus, when we have a guest coming on.
Yeah.
We did that when we had producer Joe Hale come on to talk about the Black Cauldron. And the Black Cauldron was the first picture I ever worked on. Oh, wow. And I had seen it. I mean, countless times I've seen that movie, but I hadn't seen it in like 5 or 6 years or 8 years. And when we had booked Joe to come on the show, I sat down a couple days beforehand and I watched the film from start to finish, and it just brought back a flood of memories to me.
Yeah, I can imagine working on it and then watching it. I would be like, oh my God, I remember doing this or doing that, or the problem with this or the problem with that. Yeah.
All of those memories come back to you when you watch these things. And that's one of the neat things about rewatching some of the films that you've worked on. And even though you've seen it 100 times, you watch it again and it just jars your memory on something.
Right. So tell everybody, I don't want to turn this into a full-blown interview, but
sure.
Well, go ahead.
Tell everybody, Dave, some of the books you've written, because I know you mentioned 2 so far.
Yeah. Well, something is really interesting. The first book I ever wrote was Remembering Roy E. Disney.
I think I have that one.
And that book I wrote, really it started about a year after Roy had passed away. Right. And I was with Don Hahn, who's I'm sure a lot of people know who Don Hahn is, but producer of Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and, just all around great guy, Renaissance man. He and I were together in Boston, and we were trading some stories about Roy because, again, he had just passed away a year before. And Don said to me, hey, you ought to put some of those stories in a book. And that's really sort of how that book got started, and it's gone out there, and I've got tons of nice notes from people because they've read that book and they felt like they were sitting next to me and I was telling them stories. Yeah. And that's really a great compliment, And after I did that, I wound up doing Dolly and Disney, Destino, about the Destino film. And then from there, I did the Animators Gallery. Eric Goldberg draws the Disney characters. The Tennessee Love List, the Art of Tennessee Love List, the 10 by 10 by 10 Mickey Mouse pop culture collection. I'm on the spot here because I don't have them in front of me. I'm trying to lose track.
Is there a Dave Bossert website I can go to that has the list?
Yeah, actually, you can go to davidbossert.com.
Okay, good.
And by the way, if people go to it right now, the site is down. I've got my webmaster doing some changes and working on it, so you're not going to get to it. But you can go to davidbossert.com tomorrow.
Okay.
And also you can go to theoldmillpress.com. Theoldmillpress.com is selling the 3D Disneyland book, signed copies, by the way, of the 3D Disneyland books. It's one of the only places you can get a signed copy. It's at the oldmillpress.com website, or you can go to Stage 9 up in Sacramento. My friend Troy Carlson owns Stage 9 in Old Town Sacramento and sells a lot of Disney art and Disney books and whatnot. But he's got some copies, signed copies.
Right. And Aljon, go ahead.
Oh no! I was just going to give one last plug. Later this year, there's a book coming out that I wrote, and I worked on this with the family. It's Claude Coates, Walt Disney's Imagineer. The Making of Disneyland from Toad Hall to the Haunted Mansion and beyond. And that
can be awesome.
That is going to be coming. There you go. Look at this. You guys got the wild ride. Excellent. Fantastic.
That's right.
So, I have to tell you, there is no book on Claude Coates.
Wow.
And this will be the first book. It's a hefty 256 pages. It's packed full of material. And I work, I worked very closely with Claude's family and his only surviving son, Alan Coates, who's in his mid-70s, and is an Imagineer himself. So that's coming out later this year. So we've been keeping busy. Yeah. And by the way, I do like to pick projects that have not been covered. Right. I don't want to write a book on, something that there's 5 books on.
Yeah.
I want to pick things that haven't been done. And that was one of the appealing things about the 3D Disneyland book. It's the only 3D Disneyland book that's out there.
So tell me, I put on my 3D glasses and then there's pictures and then they just pop out 3D?
Yeah, so when you look at these photos that are in the book, they were shot as 3D, so there's a left and right eye image. But what we did was we merged those and we created what's known as an anaglyph photograph. And when you put on these red and blue glasses,
the old school.
When you put those on, you'll see incredible depth in the book. And by the way, I'm going to tell you, the first photograph in the book, the first photo is of Walt Disney in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disneyland.
Wow.
In 1955, the dedication. And when you put those glasses on, Walt is right there in front of you in 3D.
Oh my God!
How's that? Huh?
It's the best book.
To me,
where did you say I could get that book? What was that?
That's worth the price of admission right there. Is that you see Walt in 3D, and it's not the only Walt in 3D photograph. But yes, you go to the Old Mill Press, theoldmillpress.com. And you'll be able to order an author signed copy, and
I'm doing that right now.
Couple of goodies that get thrown into the book with it. Okay,
I have to say too.
And by the way,
yep.
I'm sorry, Aljon.
I was just going to say that they're amazing coffee table books.
Yeah.
They are substantial.
Yeah. Wow.
And by the way, free shipping. Shameless plug.
Yeah, sure.
That's right.
Sure. But also, Aljon, besides doing the Skull Rock podcast, tell everybody else what else you got, because that's not the only podcast you do.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Skull Rock podcast with Dave and myself, of course, a weekly podcast. I also do the Disney List podcast with my wife Kristen, where we do a basic countdown and we rank different things. It's kind of like Watch Mojo, but for Disney fans. So that's what we do there. And then I also produce Kristen's podcast, which is the Dining at Disney podcast. So she is a Disney foodie, as you know, and she's a world traveler. So she definitely has a lot to share in terms of, Disney dining, park hacks, and travel tips. So she covers all that with her co-host and her monthly panel. She does a panel show every month as well with other Disney foodies and travel fans. So so those are the three. And of course, we're also on Sorcerer Radio. It looks like maybe Disney Parks Podcast may be joining us back on Sorcerer Radio. We have an all talk station. We have hundreds of people listening to the talk station. Of course, Sorcerer Radio's got thousands and 1 million downloads. It's like ridiculous over the course of 20 years. So we're all on Sorcerer Radio Podcast Network with Skull Rock and Dining at Disney and Disney List. So it's a really nice partnership.
So where can everybody find all of this content you guys are pumping out?
I think the best place you can check out Skull Rock Podcast right now is actually on our Facebook page, because we update it every week with content, and we are giving an overhaul to our website at skullrockpodcast.com. But so you could follow us there on social, click the bell for notifications when those podcasts go live. They go live every Monday morning, so people can just subscribe to every podcast service that's out there, including iHeartRadio and Spotify, and coming soon to Amazon, which will be really nice. So all your smart devices will have it. So,
and of course, Apple Pie.
Apple, iTunes, Google.
Yep. You have to be on Apple. That's a law.
I guess
that is the law. Radio Public, Breaker, Google. We're on everything.
I know it's amazing. Sometimes I just Google the podcast name and I just find all these. I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were there.
I didn't know we were there either. They just More and more services are popping up, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it? I mean, people have the choice and they listen and they subscribe, and hopefully they just spread the word about your show and our show, and it just takes off for everybody.
Right. So for Skull Rock, your show, when do they come out? They come out Mondays, you said, correct?
Yeah, every Monday, Skull Rock Podcast. So check it out. Subscribe to the show every Monday morning. You'll get a brand new episode. And this past week, Dave talked to his old friend Ethan Reed, and he was great. He's a former Imagineer and art director. He's done so many things for Tokyo Disney, Tokyo Disney Sea, and brought Duffy and the Duffy universe of stuff, and to life. Just so many. And he's an audio animatronic programmer. He does a lot.
Right.
He was. He did the Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disneyland. He and I actually worked together on the Dwarf Mine Coaster in the Magic Kingdom down at Orlando, which also went into Shanghai.
Wow, crazy.
Wow.
You guys need to know that Dave worked on a lot of stuff for the parks.
He
was head of special projects. I mean, the light shows. He's done all the different attractions.
World of Color. World of Color.
World of Color. My God, my favorite.
Paris Dreams. I mean, we had Quasimodo climbing the castle over at Paris Disneyland with projection.
Yep.
Yeah,
maybe we'll have to have you back on, Dave, and we'll do a whole interview, the both of you.
Absolutely.
Oh no, you just take Dave. Just take Dave. I'll sit in. But Dave.
Aljon's got to join us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna fanboy out for Dave. That's what I do. I'm just chilling out.
All right. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, Aljon and I have a great time every week doing the show. Yeah. We just have a ball. It's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of laughs. And each show is settles in at its own length. We don't want to rush through our guests, and we often say, that, you can't cover somebody's career. Like when we talked to Ethan Reed in this week's episode, like we can't cover his entire career in an hour,
right.
So we always end it by saying we're going to have these people back. And then, in a year and a half, we'll have them back to talk about a different aspect of their career.
Right. Yeah, that's good. My request would be get Pete Docter on. I want to hear Pete Docter's story.
Pete.
I want to hear the whole story from Cal Arts to today.
Oh my
Put
God!
that in an hour show. Could you jam it in there?
That'll be.
I don't think we could even shoehorn that into an hour show.
Dave, what we have to do. It'll be a limited series on Disney Plus. It'll be like the Thornbirds. It'll be like 5 hours long.
Well, they could probably do Inside Pete Docter like they're doing Inside Pixar. Just do Inside Pete. Inside Pete's head.
Yeah. But we do have a lot of really great guests coming up, and we're I think right now we're booking almost 6 to 8 weeks in advance.
Wow.
For people coming on. But we've got Kirk Wise, one of the co-directors of Beauty and the Beast, is going to be on in the coming weeks. Max Howard, who ran the animation studios in London and in Orlando, is going to come on. Really interesting people with a lot of interesting stories, because Max had a whole theatrical stage background before he joined Disney Animation. So, but I first met him when we were doing Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit in London.
Yeah.
So, lots of fun stories. And like you said earlier, Tony, it really is a peek behind the curtain, but more than just a peek. It's like sneaking in and running around behind the curtain.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I listen to them, obviously when I'm working, but it's great stuff. It's great stuff.
Glad to dig it, man.
Yeah.
Great.
I like it.
Well, we love having you guys on. And I always like having Aljon on because he's got the silkiest voice in podcast.
Dude.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he has a face for radio.
No, Tony, that's you and I.
That's right.
No.
He's got that FM rock and roll voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got to get the dial my system, man. I want something like that.
Are you working on it there? You're working on it.
I'm getting there.
Good.
So, guys, we're gonna get into the rest of the show. Do you guys want to stick around? You guys gonna stay with us, or you guys gotta head out?
I'll stick around just for a few minutes if I can, but I know that I'm going to get yanked out of here in probably about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I guess, guys, we want to say thank you for being on the show. Everyone go listen to the Skull Rock podcast. It's a great show. I love it. And, we want to move on. And I guess, there's nothing else we can do, Tony, but get into the news.
And now, Disney Parks Podcast News.
Well, we have some changes coming. Speaking of those pesky little changes inside the theme parks, we've got changes coming to the Jungle Cruise, and they're going to be beginning soon. Imagineer Zach Ridley, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, has shared an update via his Instagram account, and that guy is everywhere regarding the enhancements coming to the Jungle Cruise. Guests hoping to ride the world-famous Jungle Cruise can rest assured that, according to Ridley, the updates to the attraction will be added in ways that allow the attraction to remain open and available. The enhancement changes. Yeah, it's great. I'm excited about that. The enhancements and changes will be coming to both the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. And then we'll begin along the rivers of the Jungle Cruise soon. And we'll be adding and I'm using Tony's air quotes here, a phased approach. So Ridley says, and I quote, "You may start to notice some monkey business along the river as work begins on the Jungle Cruise at the Magic Kingdom. The good news for all of you visiting Walt Disney World is the attraction will remain open to guests while our teams update scenes in a phased approach over the next several months." So that's great. We don't have to shut it down. We don't have to close it or refurbishment. And I think that all the fans will resonate with that. I love that ride. I hate it when it's closed, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new changes.
Yeah, that'll be fun and interesting. All right, so Disney MagicMobile was announced, and then the week later it was launched. That's how quickly that IT project got moving.
That's right. In and out.
Yep. So it actually, I think it started last week. Guests can now, if you haven't, on your Apple Watch or Apple phone, you can get your ticket. I can't see that. Tilt. No, can't back forward. It's not going to focus. Anyway, you can now go to the My Disney Experience app and then click on the Disney Mobile Magic Mobile service, if I can talk.
Easy for you to say.
Just follow the steps. I'm not going to run down the steps. It's like a 3-step process, but then it will get loaded into your Apple Wallet. If you have an iWatch, it'll get loaded onto your iWatch. So you can use either your Disney Magic Mobile service, you can use a Magic Band, or you can use a regular ticket media, or your iWatch. Any of those, they're all interchangeable. And you can also use it to now also get into your, there you go. John did Star Wars. You can now use it to get into your resort hotel as well. So it's all on the My Disney Experience app. That's the one point of entry for everything now.
That's exciting.
By the way, I was just going to say, I love those, the wristbands that they introduced and, just being able to walk around and swipe everything. I know some people, it may cause them agita at the end of their vacation when they get their bill, but I love it.
They should send you like a daily update. Hey, this is your running total as of today.
Yeah,
you want to have mini strokes instead of the entire one.
Exactly.
A little mini stroke you can survive. The big stroke at the end might just send you to heaven. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'll be pulling a red fox. At the end of the trip, I'll be like, I'm coming.
Easy.
I'm coming for you.
Over at Disneyland, theme park tickets have gotten a little bit of an update. Oh gosh, here we go again.
Yep.
Unused non-promotional single-day tickets that expire on December 30th of 2020. Did we not do this last week? I swear to God, I read this last week.
We might have.
This might be an update to last week. Oh my gosh!
I think it is.
All right, so here we go, kids. Unused non-promotional single-day tickets that expire on December 30th of 2021, or they expire on March 31st of 2022, will have the expiration date extended to December 30th of 2022. If you have completely, wholly unused, non-promotional multi-day tickets that expire on January 12th or April 13th of 2022, will have that expiration date extended to January 12th of 2023, and the ticket will expire 13 days after the first use or on January 12th, 2023, whichever one comes first. Guests with multi-day tickets who use their first visit between February 28th of 2020 and March 13th of 2020, but did not reach their ticket's maximum number of uses, will have the 13-day expiration period of their ticket extended to December 30th of 2022. Those expiration dates on eligible tickets will be updated prior to the theme park's reopening.
That's not complicated at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, now if you get on the monorail and it's moving at 1.4 miles an hour, and and you're heading into the Magic Kingdom, at what point? No, I mean, it sounds like an SAT math problem here.
It does. It does.
When one monorail leaves the TTA coming counterclockwise, and another monorail leaves the Contemporary Resort riding
what day will I be able to use
the
my
Skyway
ticket?
goes across the bend. Exactly.
Right. What day does a parrot drop out of the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
All right, so we have to preface this whole story with a rumor. This is a rumor alert. I don't have my rumor alert button anymore.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. He knows.
There have been further indications that Reflections, the Disney Lakeside Lodge, has possibly been permanently canceled. So construction permits have emerged that revealed the removal of several office trailers. Maybe they just didn't feel like paying for them anymore. From the surrounding property, this removal also further validates that the cancellation or the long-term delay of this project, although we will likely never receive an official confirmation from Disney on the subject. Well, at least not yet. Digging into this a bit further, it was discovered that any mention of reflections appear to have vanished from the Disney Vacation Club website and from the Disney Parks blog website. So similar disappearance announced throughout Disney history is usually what happens when they pull it. Yeah. It's gone. That means it's maybe gone for good. It has been reported that crews have been on site recently removing materials from the former River Country property. Also, there's a guy who is at BioConstruct, has some aerial photos of everything that's been sprayed with grass seed. So that may be another indication that this is over for now. So we'll have to stay tuned and wait for an official announcement, which may not come for a year or two.
How does BioReconstruct get all of that aerial footage over a no-fly zone?
I think they just rent helicopters and pay pilots to do it.
He always posts the aerial photos of what's going on.
Well, I know the only place that has an official no-fly is the Magic Kingdom. I think
is it just Magic Kingdom? I
think so. I think everything else is fair game.
He could be also using a drone.
Yeah.
Well, he's using a drone.
The drones are so good now.
Yeah. It shoots 4K.
Yeah. I was thinking they outlawed the use of even drones in those areas, but he still gets so. If
you pull off in the woods there, nobody will see you.
I guess
for at least an hour.
Well, yeah, his footage is pretty amazing when you think about where he's able to get photos. But wow. Yeah. He's got some sophisticated drone for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive. It's impressive. We just got done recording a few shows for our Patreons, meaning if you like what we do here and you'd like to support us, we can invite you to go over to DisneyParksPodcast.com/Patreon, and you can contribute however much you would like to. And at whatever level you contribute to, we will invite you to listen to some new shows that you can only hear on Disney Parks Podcast Patreon page. We've got shows that are just Tony and I bantering about Disney news and rumors, and then we have a special show just for the Disney Plus streaming service. We also have a level. If you would love these amazing Disney by the Numbers T-shirt club shirts, you can hear all three shows. Plus, you can get a shirt mailed to you each month. You don't have to do a thing. And on top of that, we have an incredibly robust reward system for whatever level that you're supporting us at. So Patreon opened up the opportunity for us to offer you to pay annually and save 10%. And if you go up one level, or if you join for this period of time, you'll get a free hand-stitched embroidered embroidered Pixar hat for just joining. So guys, now is the best time for you to jump on and get into the Disney Parks Podcast Patreon group. You can go to DisneyParksPodcast.com/Patreon, sign up, and you too will be able to hear the three shows. You could be getting the new shirt plus all the other rewards just for being a Patreon member. For all those who are already our Patreons, we say thank you. We appreciate you. And without you doing what you do, we would not be able to do what we do.
May 29th, we are going to go to AMC, and we're going to rent a movie theater, private movie theater. So we'll announce how to get tickets, because it will be limited to 20 people. That's AMC's rules, not mine. And then on August 7th, we are going to Ravello at the Four Seasons for breakfast. More details on that. That will have to be a little bit of a limited group, because they do have capacity limits as well. But maybe they won't in August. We don't know. And December 11th, we are doing our annual Christmas crawl. We'll start at the Contemporary, and we go around to all the monorail resorts, and have some hot toddies and look at Christmas trees and Christmas Carol.
Christmas cookies and hot cocoa.
Christmas cookies and hot cocoa. So, all right. All that being said, last week we had a trivia question. Not a lot of answers on this. I think this was a little confusing to some people.
Challenging would be the word I would use.
Yeah. So the question was, why is Charles Mintz living in South America? And the correct answer was to capture and return with a living flightless bird. Living flightless bird. That would
Apparently, ostriches weren't a thing back then.
That's right. So that would be Kevin, is who he wanted to capture. The winner was Jim and Connie. And since you sent your address, I'll put that in the mail to you this week.
Awesome.
Let's talk about this week's trivia question. How many tentacles did Dory's octopus friend have in the movie Finding Dory? So I don't know. I thought it was a standard number, but I think they can have more or less than this number. So if you think you know the right answer, send that to Disney Parks Podcast at gmail.com. All right.
Excellent. A Disney Resort quick service dining location has temporarily extended their hours, which is a great sign. The Morrow, the quick service dining location at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, will be open during dinner hours during the month of April. It's what is likely a response to the surging number of resort guests during the spring break season. The Morrow will open its doors from 4 to 9 p.m. each evening this month. Breakfast will continue to be offered from 7:30 until 11:30 a.m. There seems to be something for everyone on the menu, including a black Angus bacon cheeseburger, a plant-based Marrakesh falafel platter, the Mara's Braille chicken flatbread. I'm probably not pronouncing that horribly. Fan favorite zebra domes, and much more. At this time, according to the Walt Disney World website, the addition of evening hours is temporary, so we will let you know if that changes. And I'm excited by that. That's a great sign.
Yeah, that used to be the Joe Rohde place for lunch when he was working on projects. So
brought to you by Joe Rohde.
Yeah, maybe you can go sit there and wait for Joe to come back.
Maybe. I wouldn't know.
All right, so ticket guidelines for Disneyland. So this is official word from Disneyland on their opening on April 30th. The Magic is finally returning to Disneyland theme parks. And as part of the Disneyland Park, Disney California Adventure Park, they plan to officially reopen to the public on April 30th with limited capacity. So the original limited capacity was 15%. There were rumors going around that they may go up a tier, so the capacity may be a little bit more than 15%. So we'll have to stay tuned to the news and see what happens with that as far as California. But as Disney prepares to resume sales of Disneyland Vacations, they want to make sure that you're aware of the current reopening plans and will require Disney travel travel agents, and guests visiting Disneyland Resort theme parks to follow the theme park guidelines set forth by the state of California. So what Disney is saying is this is not their rules, but this is the state of California's rules. So, per the state guidelines, the name and the contact information of each person who purchases a ticket to the park should be collected for contact tracing purposes. This information will be provided by ticket purchasers who will serve as the main contact on behalf of their entire party. In addition, at the time of guest purchases, park tickets... you must make a park reservation. So that means you have to have ticket media and a park reservation, ding, ding, to get in. Okay? And that a purchasing park guest must confirm that the guest party size will not be more than 3 households. So they're not saying how many people can be in your group, but it can't be more than a combination of 3 different households doing the ticket purchasing. And all members of the guest parties are California residents, since the guidelines limit theme park attendance to in-state visitors only. So don't be calling your friends and having a big, let's go to Disneyland party, because if they don't live in California, you ain't getting in. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they're checking that.
Well, I check ID, I would assume.
Well, kids don't have driver's license. You can invite all your grandkids over.
That's true. It's true.
But it'll be interesting. So when more details about the reopening and how tickets are going to go on sale, we'll let you know. They haven't announced when or what time or day or the process of. But I would tell you this. If you do live in California and you're going to go stay, like you're coming from San Diego, Sacramento, I would tell you to get a travel agent because they're going to be the most informed that will help you navigate this quagmire because it's going to get yucky out there, kids.
That is the absolute God's truth.
Yeah.
It's going to be real ugly. It's going to get messy, and then it'll be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
We hope.
Yep.
I read this news story when it came out, and I literally had to sit there for a minute because it was so mind-blowing.
I agree.
The Blue Bayou restaurant located in Disneyland's New Orleans Square on the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland in California will be debuting a new array of adult beverage options when it reopens to guests. Blue Bayou will be the only the second location to offer alcoholic beverages in Walt's original park, second only to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Among the adult beverage options coming to Blue Bayou will be beer, wine, and a New Orleans-inspired specialty hurricane cocktail. Yes. Guests will also be able to commemorate a special event by choosing a sparkling wine package. Seasonal special editions of their non-alcoholic mint julep will be offered as well. Blue Bayou will open at some point after reopening of both Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, but the exact date has not been announced yet. So this is now really breaking the barrier of a classic Disney attraction restaurant that, serving alcohol in the parks.
So, Disneyland friends, you have to tell me, I know there's one place in Galaxy's Edge right now, but is it the same rules that we have in the Magic Kingdom where you can only drink at the restaurant, at the table, and can't take that beverage outside of the restaurant? So like Tony's and Be Our Guest, you can have alcohol at night. I don't think they're serving it at lunchtime. I think at dinner, but the alcohol can't leave the building. So you can't take the beer with you. You can't take the wine with you. You have to finish it all in the restaurant. So if anybody knows the true fact on that, let me know because I'd be interested. I'm assuming that's what they're doing because I can't imagine. It would break Walt's rule of no alcohol in the park. But I don't think that matters. I think they're about breaking rules at this point.
Right.
Florida bill is seeking to lower timeshare property taxes. So if you own a DVC, you may want to listen up. This may be for you. Florida legislation is set to review a proposal which could change how timeshare properties are valued, but it remains to be seen if Disney Vacation Club and its owners would benefit. The Orlando Sentinel is reporting that the Florida lawmakers are discussing a bill which aims to lower your timeshare values. That I don't like the sound of that. Lower my timeshare value.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I don't like the way that sounds. It sounds bad for me. And thus, the taxes paid by their owners. The bill addresses how timeshare resales are factored into property valuations. According to the Sentinel, the property appraisers currently have the freedom to include or exclude resales depending upon the volume. I don't like the sound of that either. House Bill 1007 and Senate Bill 1358 will change that by requiring appraisers to factor those resales in if the owner or the developer can provide a reasonable number of examples. I think with Disney that would be very easy. There's lots of them. At issue are resales of lower-end timeshares, which are often dumped for premier pennies on the dollar. These and that would be probably all the bankruptcy stuff that's probably happening too. These bargain basement transactions are often excluded from the valuation, which favors the developer's rates and representative value. Critics include the Orange County property appraiser, Amy Mercado, and Osceola County property appraiser, Katrina Scarborough. Well, they're the only two that care. It's the county of where the DVC is.
Right.
The guy in Polk County doesn't care.
Guy in Lake County.
Yeah, or Lake County, he don't care either. Factoring in all resale transfers would drive down the values and lower tax revenue. Orange County currently receives approximately $175 million annually from timeshare taxes.
Wow.
Booyah! A figure that Mercado claims would fall by 50 to 70% based on this proposal.
Boo-hoo.
Well, that pays for cops and emergency services and road repair.
Wait, now we care about cops are getting paid? Oh, I'm so sorry. That is the sarcasm that most people hate on this show, and I am sorry. It just came out. I'm sorry. No offense. I don't think that money goes to pay cops. I think that just goes to the coffers of the county.
What about schools?
Well, yes. They're doing a bang-up job. Allocation of funds for schools does need
more
to be
PPE and sanitizer and masks.
No comment.
All right, Disney Vacation Club owners could benefit from a brisk resale market, with many longtime owners discovering that their timeshares is worth more today. And I would tell you, if the values are going to get dumped by the bill, I would say get rid of it now if you ever thought of getting rid of it. Timeshares are worth more today than when they purchased a decade ago. Duh. Thank you. Low-cost transfers of DVC contracts are virtually non-exist. Steadily increasing property taxes at DVC resorts suggest that the resale volume has already been deemed high enough to meet the appraiser standard for inclusion in the valuation. So that's very interesting if you're a DVC owner, things you have to pay. I remember Bay Lake was mine, and we always got taxed more because of our close proximity to the Magic Kingdom. That made that valuation of Bay Lake more than the other properties, just because of that alone. That was one factor.
It's crazy.
Because I can walk there. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, before I start a problem, there's a new bamboo bar and patio at Splitsville Luxury Lanes, now open at guests at Disney Springs. For bowlers, the new bar area might be right up your alley. For the first time in forever, after the patio construction finished at Splitsville Luxury Lanes at Disney Springs West Side, the indoor bar and outdoor services window are now open for guests, and now named the Bamboo Bar. The Bamboo Bar. Say that 10 times fast. The Bamboo Bar takes the place of the old first floor bar, which is now blocked off. It offers both tables and bar seating. The sleek style will become the new look for the rest of the dining area in the upcoming renovations. The new bar is very modern, with black ceilings and chairs, wood countertops, and trendy light fixtures. The seating area features some classic Florida art invoking the timeless style found all around Disney Springs. The new patio offers outdoor seating, and across to the bar indoors. And access. Can't read. There's bar seating on the patio as well as a convenient walk-up window if you want to keep on rolling while you enjoy your refreshments. I think it's going to be interesting. It looks amazing. Can't wait to go check it out.
Yeah. Why didn't they name it something bowling? Why bamboo? It, 9-pin or the split bar or something bowling. I thought, know. Why bamboo? I couldn't figure this out when I read this. I was like, what? So it runs the entire length, all the way to the donut joint and the orange garage. And I think they're eventually going to, and what this also does is it makes most of the space indoors.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't this used to be a bowling alley?
I think it still has some bowling.
Well, no. I mean, like where this bar is, looking at the pictures.
No, this is outside. So when you walked from the Orange Garage to like that Splitsville down that alley.
Yeah.
Well, remember there was like that space on the outside where like 2 feet from the building, 4 feet from the building, whatever, 6 feet, whatever it was. Well, now it's just a small little alleyway. They took most of that space and made this a bar. The bowling alley is still there.
Okay, so hang on. So
they just took the outside area and enclosed it.
When you were going to the restroom, you were walking to the restrooms. Restrooms are on the right, and the bowling alley was on the left, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm looking at the sign that says restrooms,
and
it looks like
they took those 2 lanes maybe then.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. Yeah, exactly what they did.
Yeah, I only saw an outside shot. I didn't see inside.
Yeah, no. I'm looking right at it.
They took the 2 lanes?
They took the lanes out.
Wow.
Which
That's
is
a shame.
Yeah, because they had the really cool ball return thing right there in the window.
That you can see.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did, because I'm seeing the outside thing too. And that's awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So
I think that whole that little corner area, I think that's boarded up now. I think that'll get deconstructed. But or maybe that's where the to-go is going to go.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. It looks good.
They need to make it a rum bar. That's what they need to do. Compete with a Polite Pig's bourbon bar. Make it a rum bar or something.
Yeah. I'll still give you my AMC tip of the year.
Tip of the year.
Came from an employee at Splitsville. You go to Splitsville, order a pizza to go, and then just take it into AMC because they allow food from other places in there.
Yeah.
Just saying. Or take some sushi to go and eat it in the theater.
There you go.
All right. Shanghai Disney Resort is open, and they unveiled their 5th birthday character costumes. If you haven't seen them, they're very cute. Go Google it. The countdown to Shanghai Disney Resort's 5th birthday celebration is already underway. And now the resort has presented yet another magical surprise inside the Enchanted Storybook Castle, a fashion show that reveals all the new celebratory costumes for Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, Chip and Dale, Duffy, and his friends.
Nice.
Remember, Duffy's big there.
Huge.
He's huge. It's going to be huge. As the resort's biggest celebration to date, and with Shanghai Disneyland Enchanted Storybook Castle featuring so prominently in the park, the collection was created as pieces of moving art with festival elements, including confetti. I think we've seen that already on ours. Gifts and streamers. I think we've seen that already on ours. And a color palette of ivory and champagne gold. One of the biggest wow factors about the new costumes is the 5s hidden throughout the costume.
Nice.
So I don't know if you're going to get close enough to Mickey to see them. Will be the question. Because I know here in our parks you can't get anywhere near a mouse.
Yeah, no.
Shanghai Disney Mickey and Minnie's 5th costumes with different designs created for each Disney character. Here are some of the highlights guests will see during their year of magical surprises. Featuring a purple, ivory, and champagne gold motif, the outfits designed for Minnie and Mickey evoke a sense of glamour to match their occasions, elegance, ribbons, and gifts featuring their custom accessories. I'm not going to read all those. You don't care. Guests can catch the Disney performers in their new costumes, along with an all-new 3-layer birthday cake float. Ahead of Mickey's Storybook Express parade. A what? A parade?
I know, right? I know not what you speak.
As well as the Disney Surprise Show. Show? Somebody say show? Which will be presented daily on the Pepsi E stage in Tomorrowland. The surprise squad will pop up throughout the park at various times and locations to present guests with magical surprises for the duration of the resort's year-long celebration. That sounds pretty fun. I like that they have parades and shows.
Let's go.
Just have to get on a plane for 28 hours.
That's right. It's no worries. It's not a problem. Barely an inconvenience. Bluetooth on-ride photo linking test rolls out to all eligible Disney World attractions. A new notification in the My Disney Experience app reveals that the on-ride Bluetooth photo linking has rolled out to all eligible Walt Disney World attractions. Previously, this feature was limited to only Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The rollout of automatic Bluetooth linking using the guest phone is a feature of Disney Mobile Magic, a new service that aims to allow phone or Apple Watch to function like Magic Bands currently do. So walk me through this. I'm not sure I understand this.
Tap your phone to get your picture.
Tap your phone to get your picture. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Ding.
Cool.
Ding. Yeah.
Do you still have to pay for those pictures or just get it?
Well, I think if you're a pass holder, they're free. And Memory Maker people, you've paid for it.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. Beep.
Depending on which level of pass holder.
Depending on which level of pass holder pane you've chosen.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, go visit us over at T Public. That's TEE Public. We have some merch still for sale. You can go and see everything we have at DisneyParksPodcast.com/T Public.
TEE
Public.
.com. No, I'm kidding. Hey, kids, how about a little headline news?
And now, the headline news.
All right. First up, Lego is now featuring some poo. Winnie the Pooh, that is.
Like poop.
It was all over Facebook when they dropped this bomb.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. I think it's the first time. I don't remember any Pooh sets as of late. So that's a good deal. The CDC is now providing new technical guidance regarding the next phase of conditional sale orders. So I'm still betting on October. People are saying it's going to happen sooner. So we'll have to see what happens with this thing. The Disney Wish announcement is coming April 29th. So it's going to be a big online press conference April 29th. And everybody believes that Disney's going to drop the Wish bomb. And
meaning the new cruise line. New cruise ship.
You're going to tell everybody, about the ship and when it's going to sail and where it's going to, where it's going to be parked, all that kind of fun stuff that cruise people like to hear. From April 12th through May, the Meadow swimming pool